Yeah, man. All right. Hey, what's up, people? How you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. What's up? What's up? I know it. Friday night. Feeling right. Hold on tight. It's all right. That's so bright. Let me break this down a little bit here. Here we go. Hey, that's a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, man, this might be too much too. What's going on, party people? How y'all doing, man? What's up? What's up? Tim Black, we're back in the house. That's who's here. Give it up for them people, man. My people, my people, my people. Yo, 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 yo. Hope the volume's okay. I want to say what's up to my moderators. Raina Tears, Nene and Elizabeth Lunny, the OGs, whether in spirit or in the physical. What's up, Buck? Ebony, Mamba, the OGs, Mystical Carter, Man Oz, and the brothers got my six. Damn. I want to say Blade. No, that's not. It's not no damn Blade. That's been a minute, man. I'm back in the files now. I'm digging through the Rockford files. I'm back looking at the Beverly Hill. What's it? Benny Hill show. Trying to find that one, man. Trying to find that card. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It's a military guy. Yeah, it's a lot of military men like watch the Tim Black Show, man. Brothers are hard as nails, man. Tim Black Show is hard as hell. Battle anybody, I don't care who you tell. I excel. They all fail. LL still sound dope, man. LL still got got skills, fam. You did well with Eminem on that track, yo. So we're in the house, man. We're in the building this Friday night here on the Tim Black Show. If you're new to the show, what we do is we do political commentary, breaking news, and black culture. We do live streams typically Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We had a special edition today. If you missed it, it was amazing. It was an update on the Nolan Wales tragedy. And yeah, it's on the YouTube channel. The live is up, and then I did a follow-up. I did a video on demand, a VOD, so that people didn't have to sit through the whole hour. They could watch the video, which smashed it together and gave you the best 15 minutes of it. And so if you're interested in that story, you want to be updated on that case, check those out. I'm going to give you a little bit more here now, because that's the kind of brother I am. I'm always giving to my people, you know what I'm saying? And I want to get into that. We are here. Yeah, we are. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. And if the room is crowded as usual, man, I can't believe all these people can fit in here. This is amazing, man. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Tonight's show is dedicated to Gail Lloyd. Gail Lloyd. And I don't know exactly how I want to say this, but other than it's somebody who believes in this show, believed in me, and has complimented this show, and she has complimented this show in a way that no one has ever done, and it's put me in a situation of a moment of clarity and reflection about really what's important. And I'm not going to let that slip through my fingers. I'm going to embrace that, and Gail's sister out of Oregon by way of Hawaii. I'm pretty sure I met her when I was in Portland. And I would have been in Portland if it hadn't been for Lee Camp. We had me doing comedy shows with him. Portland, Columbus, Ohio, Salt Lake City, Utah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, of course, and of course, Washington, D.C. Anyway, yeah, man, Gail's just, you left me really stuck. I'm stuck, fam. I'm stuck, man. You know, anybody ever done more for you than you've ever expected them to do, and they did, and you're like, wow. And I can't even thank her. I can't even really, she won't hear this. Gail passed away, and there's no way for me to thank her in person. Well, for my voice, you know, if you believe in separation between, you know, mortality being what it is. But that doesn't stop me from being appreciative. And thank you, Gail Lloyd, for believing in this show. A lot has changed in this show. I wonder if she would do it all over again if she saw how, you know, what my message is these days. I don't know. I hope she would. I hope that she would see through. Hope she would see through things maybe that we disagree on now, that I'm coming from a good place and that I mean well, and yeah, let's hope that's true. I don't want to drag it out. Thank you, Gail Lloyd, for being an amazing person. You left an indelible mark on the show, and I appreciate you for that. And words can't express my appreciation for that. And thank you. Give it up for Gail. So let's get it kicked off. Nolan. Let's do a Nolan Wells update for people that have been at work. Tim, some people do work for a living, sir. Meaning they're out the house, they're away from their computers, at least they're supposed to be away from their mobile phones. They don't know about this stuff. First thing I want to do is I want to knock down this idea. Some people have something in their heads that told them that the police ruled this an accident. That's not happened. We haven't had an autopsy. Okay, so no one's determined the cause of death. So anyone saying you're making too much of this, obviously the cops already said he drowned. Just get over it. It's amazing how they do that. That's amazing. You know, they're still talking about Charlie Kirk. I mean, he may be your white people's messiah. But to a lot of, like some white folks messiah, and some. To some, he was a Judas. So I don't want to put all white people in one bucket because that's not cool. But I will say this. To a lot of Americans, just another white dude that had a bad day. Had a bad Thursday, whatever day that was. And they're still talking about it. And yeah. So a life is a life, right? So if you can care about that guy, we can care about this guy and that woman and that child and that whoever, right? And that's up to everybody can have that. It's just amazing how people, they're just hung up on their own. It's like if their heads weren't totally up their own butts, they wouldn't be able to know what toilet paper is. That didn't make no damn sense, but I was just looking for something, and I'm trying to keep it clean. I'm trying to keep it clean because I'm getting dinged a lot. Because my language gets too colorful. I get too, you know what I'm saying? So here's what we know. Jackson County Sheriff's Office and investigators suspect drowning because they found a body in water. Ta-da, that's it. They found a body in water. They said that's probably what it was. They have stated no evidence of foul play so far and are treating it as a possible accidental drowning after a boat issue. Somebody said there was a boat. They found him in water. And that's where they are right now. There's been no final ruling. There's been no final ruling, okay? The official cause and manner of death are pending the state medical examiner's autopsy and toxicology results, which could take weeks. So before you dismiss the black young man's life and say, he stepped on a banana peel, before you do that, scumbags, pump your brakes for a couple weeks. Let's find out what they say. And then we're going to not listen to you if we have a reason not to. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I really hope it was an accident. I do. I would love to be wrong. I said I would love to be wrong about this because that would mean that no one intentionally did this to this young man. That's what that would mean. That's supposed to be a good thing if that happens. But you framing it like we were wasting our time is bullshit. People could have speculations. People could think things. And let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase. I'm going to keep this PG-13, but let me say this. If you live in America and you've ever read a book, and I know that's, a lot of us haven't, Cat in the Hat don't count, then, and you know about black folks, particularly in Mississippi, but bump that, I don't care where you at, you could die. How could you be an American citizen living in America? A black young man goes out with his friends in the pictures of him with 3 other white guys, and there had to be a 4th because someone took the picture. And they come back and he don't. They don't know what happened. That don't seem suspicious to you at all. You wouldn't be like, huh? I mean, knowing the history of America that happened, you know, it's a country where black people used to get lynched all the time in this country just openly. They used to sell tickets to this shit. But you act like that was millions and millions of years ago. No, dumb, it wasn't. It wasn't even 100 years ago. Hell, it wasn't even 50 years ago. I remember in the 90s they lynched a guy. I'm talking about they got convicted for it. Was it James L.? It was the black dude they lynched in Texas. Dragged him from behind a truck until his head popped off his shoulders. That wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was 30 years. That happened. They did that because they were bored, man. They knew the guy. They knew him. They just felt like popping somebody's head off that day. So, miss me with the, oh, you don't need to talk about it. You don't, no. See, that's why, this is why, Gail, this is why. I do what I do. Nolan's family, via attorney Ben Crump, strongly dispute an accidental drowning. They note he was a strong swimmer, an athlete, and they allege an altercation took place on the boat. Question deleted phone messages and data and are conducting an independent autopsy. They had the body sent to Washington, D.C. High-profile supporters include Colin Kaepernick and Tyler Perry. Colin Kaepernick is handling the autopsy. Tyler Perry's handling the funeral. And I'll be handling the commentary. Sorry, Don Lemon. Move out the way. You know how hard it was not to do the words to that song right there, right? Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Boom. The investigation remains active, meaning it's an active investigation. Meaning, and since this is not Nazi Germany, and since we have the power of freedom of speech, if you don't want to hear people talk about it, stop following them on their timelines. It's real simple. Facebook, if you don't want to hear me talk about Nolan Wells, you could just block me, fam. That's all. It's like these people are addicted to being around and type of commentary they're not interested in. I get that, man. There's a lot of stuff I'm not interested in. That guy, Benny Johnson, the white guy with the weird hair, who tries to, who does this a lot. Annoying. I heard he was a cross-dresser or something. I got no problems with that. Hey, man, be free. I want to be free. Be free, brother. But I'd rather listen to a hard rock group Iron Maiden drag their nails down a chalkboard than listen to Benny Johnson give me the news. Same thing goes with Ben Shapiro. People are horrible, man. So, but you know what I do? I don't watch Ben Shapiro and then complain in the comment section and send him dumb emails. I just don't consume his content. And I'm a content creator. I'm a person that can voice my opinion about him and make money off of it and get it out to an audience. And how often do I do that? Not that often. Not with Ben. But we got people, I have people that follow me around the internet who disagree with me, but can't look away. They gotta look, they gotta focus. So here I am, baby. You have a sickness. You have a sickness, you have a fixation. You have an oil fixation. You have problems. You should see somebody about that. Look into it, Cody. You and Samantha need to look into it. Get help. So Nolan Wells. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this criticism, right? See, why did Nolan Wells, his family, why did the Wellses, the Worsleys, why had they contracted the services of Ben Crump? And I heard somebody say, well, Ben Crump's he doesn't win convictions. He wins money, though. Yeah, he wins money. Yeah, he wins money. You have no way of knowing if Johnny Cocker could have won cases. I mean, here goes something most people don't know. When it comes to cops, and typically we talk about cops, right? Because when it comes to cops, like only 1% of cops who shoot people actually get any type of disciplinary action at all. And I don't think you understand that. I mean, people just say, they look at the news, they see stuff. Dude, only like 1% of cops. First of all, the percentage of cops that actually pull their guns and use them, very small. I think 5% of cops ever have a reason to shoot their gun. Okay. And now we're talking about, of those that shoot their gun, only about 1% of them ever get any disciplinary action from a bad shoot or anything. Okay? I mean, I don't think you understand the hill that you have to climb to get anything or, to get a ruling against a police officer. So I'm not here to defend Ben Crump. I'm just here to educate you. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And I'm telling you, I'm not sure some of these convictions, the Trayvon Martin case, I don't know if anybody would have beat that. It's in Florida. It's stand your ground. And the only person that can contradict Zimmerman's testimony was deceased. Kind of hard when you demonize a 17-year-old because he got in trouble in school that time. And people actually, this is like never one of those cases where we don't know anything about the person that's actually accused of the crime, but the victim, we know their whole backstory. Every time they jaywalked, if they stepped on a piece of gum or threw a piece of gum on the sidewalk and didn't put it in a wrapper. We know everything about them. We know nothing. Not allowed to know anything about cops or about people that took their lives. And it's been a running thing in America. And if you don't understand that, then you don't understand anything. So People that are criticizing Ben Crump being on the case, I totally get it, man. In fact, I would probably agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that I'm more concerned with the person, the family, getting attention to their story than I am about Ben Crump. Now, if you know a lawyer that could get them national coverage, and if that doesn't work out, still be able to do a civil suit, let me know, fam. I'm for that. But black people being killed without compensation, without justice for a couple hundred years in this country, and Ben Crump only been an active lawyer for the last 20 years, in 30 years. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting it in perspective for you. We were not getting convictions. Did they ever convict the cops that shot Diallo in New York? I'm just wondering, man. That's one of like the biggest cases. Like, how do you justify? How many times they shoot Diallo? How do you justify that? I think those cops walked. Ben Crump didn't work that. So I'm saying, like, people are kind of like cherry picking certain stuff, and I understand what you're saying. But being a person in media, I can't get you the publicity that Ben Crump can. I could come on here and yell all day. I'm not going to be able to get you national coverage wall to wall. And I damn sure ain't going to be able to get you international coverage. You understand what I'm saying? And if that's what my goal is, if that's what your goal is, that you want these people to have an opportunity to get justice, you can't get that if you can't put pressure on the powers that be. You gotta be able to pressure them. It don't matter if you're right or wrong in our system. It matters if you can have resources behind you to even get your say, to even get your narrative out. Bump right or wrong. Right or wrong is not germane. It's not pertinent. That doesn't matter. Guilt or innocence doesn't matter. That's not how our country's set up. People take plea deals every day. Not because they're innocent or guilty, because they were afraid if they get convicted how much time they'll be sitting on. Happens every day. Not every day. It happens every probably 10 minutes. We're the mass incarcerator of the globe. In the Western world. In the Western world. So anyway, so my point is back to my thing. Let's forget Crump. I don't like feeling like I'm defending them. I'm just saying, like, what would you tell the parents? Hey man, go with Bob over here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I understand the apprehension, I understand the side eye. Yeah, I get that, right? On Crump, when you look at Crump, here go Crump again. I used to say the same thing. But now that I see, maybe it's different for me because I lost a child. And I done had Crump. You know what I'm saying? You don't know anything about the child I lost. You don't know anything about what I wish I had in my corner at the time. So I'm in a different mind space than you. Because I more relate to the victims' parents, because I am a victim's parent. And I would have loved to have had somebody put a microscope and a spotlight on my situation, but I didn't have that. And I would be a hypocrite to let my personal opinions about Ben Crump and the fact he making money distort my view of them parents and those siblings. Nolan Wells had a little brother, man. And the siblings of the victims. Man, stomach don't feel good. I just visualize people in my comment section saying dumb shit. It just gets me mad. They don't know anything. Then I got to go personal And then they're so rooted, they're so rooted in their disagreement, they're so rooted in their position. Even when I contextualize it and I give you the backstory of why I feel the way I feel, to let you know it's not being a hack, it's not kissing ass, and I give you that, you still won't accept it because you've already dug your feet in so far on this train of thought. I just proved to you, I just expressed to you where my motivation comes from. It's about the victims and it's about the families of those victims and me understanding firsthand knowledge of how the system works. Cops treated my daughter like she wasn't nothing, man. In fact, I called the cop one too many times. The cop was like, look, man, we ain't gonna ever find out, man. Just, let this shit go, man. Get, I don't know why. I mean, I gave you my card. It wasn't for you to call me, dog. It was a black dude, it was a black investigator. He was like, look, I ain't mean for you to call me. Because I ain't got nothing to tell you, man. I got 10 more of these. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Good luck to you, but, peace. Lose the number, nigga. That's basically what he said. Lose the number, N-word. And it was a brother. I guess he's had the experience that people think this is some TV shit and that you're going, oh, I was up all night thinking about you, Mr. Black. How are you and the kids? I think we found a reason or something to run down this thing on your baby girl. There's too many people that watch these movies and they think shit like that. But anybody out there watching this right now, and there's anybody out here watching that knows what I'm talking about, that knows how ineffective, how dismal, how pathetic, how under-resourced law enforcement really is, and how they just inundated with bodies and stories, and they do not treat your loved one. This could be your life, son. This is your life. This is your heart yanked out your chest. And they treat it like, man, this is another day in the neighborhood, fam. You know what I'm saying? You just found a watermelon with seeds in it. You know how many of them we got? Go up on that truck. Here, take these keys. Go on the truck, get you one watermelons out the back. I got 150 of them back there. That's how it is. So that's the standpoint of where I'm coming from. And anything so when I see a family, whether it be Tamir Rice or Breonna Taylor or Terrence Crutcher, anybody, right? Ahmaud Arbery, anybody getting Cyrus Carmack, anybody going through this, whose family's going through this, because these people, I look at it from that standpoint. And it's fine when you're not going through it and you haven't experienced it. But the people that are watching this show who have experienced it in your family, right? There ain't no justice. And anybody who has any chance of getting any of that shit, God bless you. May you find justice. May you find something to give you peace of mind. And if there was any wrong play, may those people be brought to pay for their crimes. Okay? Because for the vast majority of us, there is no justice. Okay? So when you're online and you're talking shit about something you haven't gone through, I don't know, man, just consider maybe, shut the fuck up. Maybe try that shit. Try that. All right. I'm not a political person. Now, I'm not a newscaster. I'm not a journalist in that way. I'm a commentator. I do journalistic work from time to time. I do my research. I try to get more than one source for a story. I don't have boots on the ground. What I do have is a lot of bills. So go to www.timblacktv.com. Become a member of the Tim Black Show. Now, seriously, well, that's true. But seriously, fam, this is a political commentary show. So I look at what happens in the news. I look at it. I say, okay, I do my research. I form an opinion. I tell you what happened. I tell you why I think it's relevant, why you might want to give a damn about it. And I try to give you my side of it plus the facts of the story, right? And I try not to blur the lines between what my opinion is and what the bare facts are. And at the end of the day, you get to make up your own mind about what you believe, of course. And that's the Tim Black Show. And we've been doing this for almost 15 years. And nobody owns me. I have one sponsor, and they're not even sponsoring right now. And that sponsor has nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans, nothing to do with politics at all. And if you want to sponsor the Tim Black Show, you can too. Email us at tim@timblacktv.com. I'll send you my package so you know what the rates are. I also do consulting because after doing this for 15 years, for 14 of those years, I've been full-time. I haven't had a job doing anything else but this. So, I'm not a millionaire, but I've been able to live indoors with my family, and I've been a breadwinner. And, I've been doing this and operating this as a corporation for the last 12 years. 10 years. We got incorporated 2016. Or was it 2013? 2016. Okay, anyway, that's it. Anyway, I got timblackconsulting.com as my consulting website. And you can book me at the consulting website. All right, guys, let's get into it, man. I got some content. I ain't going to just roast people that aren't even here. I'm not going to do that. Let's run some clips. Let's get into it. I got some stuff. We're going to bounce around a little bit, man. It's Friday. You never know what's going to happen. We're going to keep it 100, though, because what we don't do is we do not pull punches. And Friday, man, we love to mix it up on Fridays. So let's do that. Shout out to the Tim Black Wolfpack, and let's roll. Yeah.
They have made efforts to try to get the abuses and excesses of ICE out of the headlines after Minnesota, which was, I think, such an outrage for most Americans when they saw people being killed in the streets of our country. This last case, it's something else that's not happening in a vacuum. It's the latest case that's happened, but there's been now at least 5 people killed by ICE in the streets of America. Ruben Rey Martinez, they killed a young man, they killed in San Padre Island in Texas. Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, Keith Porter, they killed him in LA. Renee Good and Alex Preddy, they killed them in Minnesota. And now Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. There's been over.
Do you know the names as well of Americans who've been killed by illegal immigrants? Do you have that list?
I know
too?
some of the names. I don't have the list, but I do know some of the names.
What are their names? What are some of their names?
Listen, we have heard all of the names.
No, just what are some of the names?
This is not me doing a contest of whether you know the names or whether I know the names. I want to pronounce these names because I think we need to put names and faces and stories.
Right? Absolutely.
Okay, so
and to the faces of Americans who have been killed by illegal immigrants
the people they killed
absolutely
don't have criminal records.
Next up with
Ouch. That was a harsh one, wasn't it, man? I didn't even watch that clip. I just knew they were talking about ICE, and I knew I'd have an opinion about it. Jesus Christ, Johnson, that was below the belt. That was tough. That was tough right there, fam. What do we say to that? Let me think about that for a second, Johnson. But. Okay, so I'll say this. First of all, good comeback. Good comeback to Ana Navarro. But it's kind of, look, anybody getting killed by cops unnecessarily, I got a problem with that. Okay? Not good at all. Okay? I don't support undocumented people being killed by ICE. I don't support American citizens getting killed by ICE. Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. right? This is a separation. I don't support anybody being killed by cops. That's my problem. So I could one up the Anna Navarro. Anna Navarro just had her lunch eaten, and then I could eat the other lady's lunch, which is the same thing. Because whether you were killed by an undocumented person or killed by a cop, they're both problems. And to the person that passed away, and to the person that's missing, as Joe Biden would say, a chair at the dining table. A chair at the table at dinner time. It's a problem. It hurts just the same. The thing that bothers me most as a Black American and an advocate for working class folks, don't nobody care if we die. Nobody cares if we get killed by cops or otherwise. You just move the body out the way and keep it moving. And that's the problem. And that's what we're upset about. Because when you see all this attention going to the 5 ICE deaths, ICE-related deaths. Same thing when they were talking about how many people that were in ICE detention centers. And I'm like, dog, I know we don't want to do the numbers on prisons. I have U.S. politicians livid, losing their minds over a couple, like of a literally 500 undocumented people being kept in a detention center. Meanwhile, they're in a state that's overrun with people's bodies crammed in cells with no heater, no air, no running toilets in their own state, and they don't talk about it. Their deaths, it's like 100 to 1. Family, if you live in Texas, your best bet, if you got to go into the system, is to go to an ICE detention center. Your chance of survival is exponentially improved by going to an ICE detention center. They won't tell you that. They'll focus on these little incidents. And I know to the family, they don't care about statistics. But when you're doing commentary, when you're doing news reporting, when you're doing this, you should care. It's my job to care. And all I can tell you is I have documentation that breaks this all down. And I think it is one for every, 88 American citizens. I think the number is 88. It could be 188. Let's just go with 100. For every 100 U.S. citizens that are killed in U.S. prisons, one ICE person died in custody in 2025. One. But all of the focus is on the ICE detention centers. So when I see people like Maxine Waters, and I forget the name of some of these other people that I saw that were grandstanding about this. I think Cory Booker was one of them, was grandstanding about it. Jasmine Crockett. It's hella frustrating because when you look at the numbers, it's like, and I think it was Jasmine Crockett that gave me the incentive to look further into the data and the numbers, to crunch the numbers and find out really they're down like hotcakes in Texas prisons. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not, obviously, I'm in Maryland. I live in Maryland. So I couldn't vote for Jasmine Crockett if I wanted to. But if I was a Texas resident and I had any idea how many American citizens were dying in those prisons, and I had to sit up here and listen to Jasmine Crockett talk as if undocumented people are dying like hotcakes in these detention centers when I know the numbers, I would never trust her again. But see, that won't come out on the balance sheet about why she lost. It should, but it won't. So both Anna and this other lady are wrong to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, they're advocating for what they're advocating for, and that's all they care about. And I'm here to advocate for Black America and working class folks. And I want to step it up on the working class folks. Because believe it or not, we're more closely related in that working class struggle. Because people with money have different problems. Yeah. The rich, What's that saying? There's a saying about people that they cry for rich people. It's like, I forget, it's like a hell of a saying. It's a saying that goes back a couple hundred years, maybe like 500 years, man. It was like the poor that gives money to the rich or cries for the rich is like, it's a special place in hell for them or something. It's something like that. Yeah, I don't want to be one of those people. I refuse to be one of those people. Even if it's a great Hollywood actor that you like. Because I know the plight of working class Americans is far more suffering, far more catastrophic. Let's keep it moving, guys. Look, it's the Tim Black Show. We're going to move on to the next story. Hit the like button if you like this content. Don't wait till the end. It's important. We want the algorithm to let me in the door. I mean, I got a lot of competition out here, man. These people are not checking for me. So we need to change that. Because they'll listen to somebody who don't know data, who doesn't understand what's going on, who will keep parroting Republican talking points and liberal talking points. And I'm saying bump all them talking points. I'm going to look you right in the camera. I'm going to tell you what it is. You may not agree with me, but you may not agree with me, but you're going to know that I'm giving you rock solid information. And I'm not being paid nor influenced. There's nobody with their hand up my back. I'm no one's puppet. So, I mean, some people value that. Some don't, but some do. A lot of people don't, man. Some people like puppets. Or Muppets. That's a good one, Muppets. Let's keep going. Man, where we at?
Tim Black.
And that's what I have to say to America. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of being embarrassed? Aren't you tired of not having anybody here?
Aren't you tired of being embarrassed? Embarrassed how? You mean when Joe Biden forgot who his wife was, which way the toilet was, when he couldn't walk a flight of stairs? You mean that type of embarrassment, that he had Kamala Harris as his VP, who couldn't win? She couldn't beat a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest? I don't know. What are you talking about? Oh, you talking about something else. You're not talking, you talking about the last 2 years. Okay. I thought you was talking about like forever. I forgot. We're only going to focus on Trump, right? Okay. My bad. Look, DL, you need to send me the rules, bro. I thought you were going to be, contextual. You were going to be, fair. Ain't no, it's just sit on Trump Day. Hey, go at it. I don't care. I'm not here to protect him. I'm just pointing out, you wrote the book for Obama. And Obama, he kind of was the drone king and the deportation king. So you can't talk about wars or deportations. So when you're talking about all the ways Trump disappoints us, don't talk about war or deportations. That would make you a humongous hypocrite with a cool bucket hat. Yeah, that's what that would make you, because you wrote a book kissing Obama's ass. And a lot of people that are kissing Trump's ass didn't write a book about it, kissing his ass. Trump, Biden, and Obama all had the same job. And black people were sitting on the bottom the whole time. So I'm just saying. Let's keep going, man. This guy's, DL is something else, man. I like DL.
Desires or your problem. Aren't you tired of having to make excuses that don't make sense? Aren't you tired of things you once believed in being eroded and having to contort yourself to make? Aren't you tired?
What? When I saw this clip, I said, damn, man, I didn't even watch the whole thing, because I like having fun on the show, too. I like being surprised at just how hypocritical D.L. Hughley can be. D.L. Hughley is an example of you can be horrific, pathetic, asinine, boring, lame, a total hack, and still keep getting opportunity after opportunity. All you got to do is kiss the right shriveled up, pasty butt. And that's what he does. That's what he does. He's been doing that for a while. And I'm not just talking about when he was kissing Kamala's ass either. keep going here, Johnson. He said things disappointed about things you used to believe in. Dale Hughley is 60 years old. If this motherfucker just decided he just got religion, he's 60. He been talking about politics for 20 years. And he just now figured out this country ain't what he thought it was. He need to chase a semi and catch it with his face. I mean, if you've been doing something for 20 years and you just now figured out what you was doing was a waste of time, we're good at you. We should never listen to you again about anything.
Aren't you tired of things you once believed in being eroded and having to contort yourself to make? Aren't you tired? It's an exhausting thing to have to retell yourself stories you know don't make sense.
Yeah, like Kamala should have won. That don't make sense. She never, she didn't win a single she did not win a single electoral vote during her primary in 2020. Why should you think she would win a general election against a guy? Listen, man, listen. D.L. Hughley should not have the stones. He should not have such courage. He's got liquid courage. How else do you explain a guy who was pressing us out and trying to shame us into voting for Kamala Harris? How else do you explain a guy who was pushing you to vote for somebody who 4 years earlier couldn't win in a single electoral vote, and then for some reason becomes the nominee 4 years later without any election process at all, burns through damn near $2 billion. And then when she loses, you blame us. She went up against a guy who won the last 3 Democratic primaries in his party. It's like, how could she not lose? Like, in what world did you think she could win? You must have thought they was going to steal the hell out of that election. Because how else could you come up with that conclusion, man? It's like the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. You know? You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, unless you thought Trump was going to throw it, like Tyson threw that Jake Paul fight. Didn't he throw that fight? What happened? I forgot who won that. We all know Tyson could have killed Paul, right? He could have, like, made Paul, like, eat applesauce and watch Mickey Mouse cartoons for the rest of his life in a high chair with pastel walls. We all know that, right? I'm just saying, man, DL's a special kind of person, man. He really is, man. And this is what the Democrats like. This is what they like. So my career is on pause because I'm talking to y'all like this about this type of stuff, and I'm dumb enough to keep doing it. Because opportunities just say, hey, Tim. Oh, you talking about that? Bye, Tim. All the opportunities left the room. But this guy keeps finding opportunities, and he's wrong about damn near everything he opens his mouth about. And nobody gets to fact check him. Nobody gets to own him. It's, you know, and he continues to do it. And every time I see him, he's got a new car. So, like I said, man, it ain't about right or wrong. It's about who has the resources. It's not about right or wrong. It's about who has the resources. I think we're almost done with him, y'all.
It's exhausting that somebody cares more about a game than your life, or more about a ballroom than your living room, or more about a pool than your being able to pay. Like, aren't you?
Or more about drone strikes than about, I don't know, black folks getting, I don't know, tax-free school. I mean, Obama was the first half-black president. He was your friend. Kamala was the vice president, and she was your friend. And what do those two people have in common? Not trying to do a damn thing for black people. And what you do? Kiss their ass both times. Just so you can get access. Just so you can be able to say to friends, your friends like Willie D, I know Joe and I know Kamala. I had a trepidation situation. I was talking to Joe Biden and I was talking to Kamala Harris just so you could be able to do that. So you could brag in front of your friends who also want to do the same hack shit you do. Yeah, they want to be like you. And so you get to play who's the bigger sellout. Who got more stuff for selling out? You get to do that. You get to walk around, yeah. I mean, you thought you sold your soul. Psst, you should see how I did it, Don Lemon. So now him and Don Lemon, the two biggest sellouts, now they're both walking around strutting. They do a thing called DLDL. Hey, I'm seriously on a tour called DL and DL. And the catchphrase is, nothing's off limits. Take that how you want to take it. Once upon a time, being a black comedian that does blue comedy or humor from time to time, he probably wouldn't have that be the title of his, the caption for this show. But now it is. Because he is no longer a comedian. He's something else.
Tired. And when you are tired, I suspect things to change. But I'll never forget. And it was the first time I ever looked and said, what part I played in this? Who am I in this? But the words, aren't you tired? And when America is tired enough, I suspect things will be different.
Next up.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
That's your guy. That's your guy. I know that's your guy. That's your friend. Let's keep going, y'all.
With Tim Black.
Progressives picked Plattner. So you need to replace him with somebody who is ideologically the same.
Basically
because that is what was decided. The people of Maine, the Democratic voters of Maine said, we want a progressive. They did not say they want an APAC moderate. So the Democratic Party in Maine ought to pick someone who is ideologically the same or ideologically similar as Plattner. If you don't, and the DNC shoves an APAC candidate down your throat, you have my permission to not vote for them. Because the Democratic Party needs to learn that it is not vote blue no matter who. It matters who. They sometimes need to lose in order to learn. Sometimes when you lose, you learn. And I'm just telling you right now, if they put a little APAC, send Israel all the bombs, give Saudi Arabia all the money, let the UAE run over us and give Trump another plane. If they put another APAC sellout moderate in place of Graham Plattner, and they do not put somebody in who is his same ideology, you have my permission to stay your ass home. Then they will learn when Susan Collins gets 6 more years. At this point, we have to teach Democrats. We need to instruct them and teach them how to treat us. It's like being in a relationship. You got to teach people how to treat your ass.
You know, the good thing about it, 6 more years, if she gets in, she might go the way of Mitch McConnell.
She'll be glitching and freezing.
Exactly.
Glitching and freezing because they don't never want to retire. Why that old lady still? She needs to retire too. But you know what? Leave her in there.
Isn't she older than Mitch McConnell?
Probably. I mean, at this point, they're all 100 years old. But the reality is we're going to focus on the races where the people get to choose the ideology of what they want. People didn't pick Graham Platter because of his stupid tattoos. They picked him because of his ideology.
Yeah. All right. The co-opt has been successful. Let me get this right. I saw somebody saying, oh, Joy Reid, she came around. Look at Joy coming around. Not so fast. Couple questions. Just questions. It's that vote blue anywho. Joy Reid, could you please explain to me your Kamala support? It's only, wasn't that long ago? It was like a year and a half ago. You were one of those people that was shitting on people that did not like Kamala. I guess you did not give them permission not to go with Kamala, did you? Yeah. I was wondering, I mean, you're giving people permission to how they can vote? What you gonna do? Come get them with your stank eye? I'm trying to figure it out. What you gonna do? I mean, I love the fact that you are suddenly showing signs of somebody with ethics now that you've made, what, $20 million and got fired. It's always convenient when rich people lose their gravy train, then come live amongst the regular people and have to slum it. All of a sudden they adopt some of the language of the people that they're slumming with that they might be around from time to time, that they want to make money off of now. But when they were making money off of the liberals and the conservative liberals, whatever those people are, the soccer moms, the wine moms and shit, totally different story. In fact, you were calling black people bots for basically saying if you ain't got no policies that we interested in, if you're not going to have policies that help black Americans specifically, why should we give a damn? Though you never said that to LGBTQ, you never said that to women, white women, and you never said it to the Latinos or the Asians. You never said they had any splinter groups or bot groups or any of that. You never ever said that. That there were no AstroTurf style women's groups, feminist groups. You mean to tell me as long as feminism has been around in this country, how it's been used to do shit like flood our system with a bunch of ideologues who think men are garbage? You mean to tell me there has never been an infiltration? No one's ever used that for bad? I mean, in the last 10 years that you had a show before you just got shit canned. Before you got shit canned, like that, like during that whole period. See, I'm just not one of these people that's going to jump up and down because you start saying something that some of these people believe. In fact, you're where I was 5, 7, 6 years ago. I moved past that. I'm somewhere else, man. That ain't even enough for me. I don't give a shit if someone's progressive. I care about how that impacts my life. That's all I care about. Because at the end of the day, just because somebody progressive, so was FDR. And you know what? The bulk of those efforts helped white folks. So that's not enough for somebody to just say, oh, you're really progressive. And yeah, it does matter if someone's a Nazi. It does. Grant Plattner hadn't actually done anything for anyone. He just talked. He didn't put forth, Grant Plattner had not put forth a single piece of legislation. We know this because he's not a politician. So he hadn't actually done shit. Nothing. Zero, zilch. He just talked. And I can't hold that against him because he wasn't an elected official. But we got people that were willing to support a guy with a Nazi tattoo on his chest who said some pretty horrible things about black people on Reddit back when he was just a regular guy. Like, why black people don't never tip? Why black people do this? Why? What's wrong with black people? With his whole white ass, talking about what's wrong with black people. Why wasn't he putting down what's wrong with white people? He's white. That's how you can tell. You know, you can tell these people are full of it. It's a fixation on blackness. Until we say we need stuff for our communities, and then all of a sudden, we get benign neglect. Everybody focus on black people until it's time for black people to say, okay, we got a demand, and then everybody goes, huh? What's that? I don't even see color. I don't know how I put this shirt on today. I don't even know what color is this mic cover? I have no idea. I can't tell because I don't believe in colors. That's what's wrong with you people. You're focused on color. Nah, man, I'm not going to be somebody that kisses Joy Reid's ring because she said something that was somewhat acceptable for somebody stuck in the 2016s. I mean, we've been saying that since 2016. You want to act like she just got religion? You don't think she heard that spiel back in 2016 when people were going, Hillary, pah, pah, Hillary, hell no, pah. You don't think she knew about that ideology that, hey, forget this no vote blue anywho shit? She heard about it 10 years ago. and rejected it because it didn't jive with her paycheck. It didn't jive with her wallet. It didn't jive with her friends. And as she says it, and a bunch of you clapping seals act as if she's amazing because of it. And I don't find her amazing. I find her a self-serving opportunist. What has she sacrificed? You can't tell me something you sacrificed. And what you're telling me don't mean shit, because until you have to sacrifice for your convictions, until then, how do I know they're real? You know what I'm saying? How can I trust it? But Joy, I want to thank you, Joy, for giving us po folk permission to do shit we already weren't going to do, which is vote for one of these dead-eyed liberals. We already weren't going to do that. But thank you, Joy, for telling us we are free to do what we was already going to do before your Congolese ass got up on here, and I don't know who she was talking to. All right, man. The part about it are the people that we share oxygen and space in a country with people who are dumb enough to buy that from her. They're that desperate to have what they think come out the mouth of one of the gunslingeringest hacks in corporate media has ever had. They're that desperate that they feel validated through that. It took that to validate them. Pathetic. Pathetic. Pooey. Let's keep going. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Woo.
Next up with Tim Black.
I think the lateness of the campaign was really what really hurt her. However, I think that, there was a lot of misconception about who she was and who she is. One of the smartest people I think I've ever met in my life. And I give her credit for that. And think that, could she have done a good job? Without a doubt. But I think circumstances and timing were all bad.
Yeah, Montel and Kamala had a thing. Yeah, Kamala and Montel had a thing. Yeah, he had her and a couple others. He was had one of those poly. What's some relationships when you got two women and you? Didn't he have one of those with Kamala? Something like that, something unorthodox, something different, something that's, some white people shit. I'm saying, man, I don't be hearing a lot of that. I mean, I know about Neo. I know Neo does that. Probably not the only one. Terrence Trent D'Arby, what his name? Roxy Roker's son, what's his name? Maxie Priest? I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. It's just some light-skinned guy done it. It's a couple of light-skinned guys, I think, got it going on. Anyways, the point is this. Shut up, Montel. Yeah, shut up. She sucked. Didn't she? She did. Kamala Harris was ineffective. Hey, look, it's like this, fam. Kamala Harris, what she lacked in time to run, she made up for it in money. Dog, if you got $2 billion and the guy you're running against has about $500 million, you can't say you didn't have enough time. She could have just went out and bought people. Kamala Harris burned through a lot of paper. She gave Roland way more money than Roland's ever gotten. She gave Oprah $1 million to talk to her for 20 minutes. She just said, when do we say, hey, that's money laundering? Oh, that's right, you can't say that because this is Democrat. You never say that. Look, look, man. Hey, man. She gave Al Sharpton $500,000 for a 15-minute conversation for an endorsement she got 6 months earlier that she had when she first started. I mean, come on, man. Is there any doubt Roland and Oprah and Roro Al were going to vote for her? What was the money for? That's $2 million. Let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it going. We're not gonna trip.
Next up with Tim Black.
This is why I remind you to go to TimBlackTV.com one more time. This show is sponsored by you. You are sponsoring the show tonight. Go to TimBlackTV.com or go find me on Patreon. Become a $5 a month VIP member. Because independent media has to stay independent, baby.
Anton, when I would ask you the same question, what do you believe the state of Black America to be at this particular moment in time? Who do you hold most culpable for it?
I'm not sure exactly what he means by fluid. And I'm assuming that he defined that based off of the different parameters by which he spoke about the Black community. However, I think I agree with him, except for I would describe it as in shambles. Worse off than we've ever been, freer than we've ever been. And the fact that we're willing to blame Trump, although we've had decades of opportunities, Black cities, you look at some of the blackest cities in the United States of America, Memphis, for example, is in shambles and they needed Trump's help. And I think that there's a lack of accountability and victimhood. And as long as we continue to promote that it's somebody else's fault,
Man, there are people that watch this guy and they say he's smart. Like I'll be listening to Anton sometimes, like not often, but whenever I hear him, he just always just has Trump's thumb up his butt. This guy just said Memphis needed Trump's help. You know what I'm saying? Like, needed Trump's help. Like, Trump sent, like, the military in that joint, not because they asked him to. What are you talking about, man?
I was looking at Juneteenth in Chicago, right?
Oh, and black people shot each other. See, we can't do nothing right. It's all our fault.
And you had over 7 people killed and 36 people shot. And while we were focusing on whether or not Asians and white people, whether it's Carmelo Anthony or Cyrus Carmack, is responsible, and if
while we were focused on that, I don't know, man. You said it happened in Chicago, right? Oh, you mean the rest of the country was supposed to do something? Oh, my bad, dog. I'm in Maryland, dog. I didn't know I was responsible for what happened in Chicago. My bad. I thought it was the United States of America, but I thought each state had its own, law enforcement, government, mayors. I thought it was, I thought it was kind of autonomous. You blaming people in Maryland for what happened in Chicago? Black people all over the country's fault. This is the best they got, huh? That's why Stephen A. keep bringing him on the show. That's why you keep bringing him up on Stephen A. You keep bringing Anton on your show because it's the best they got in talent, conservative media. All right, man.
they should go to jail or not. In every city across America, especially where predominantly Black people live, you don't have to kill each other, but there's drive-bys, and there were over 113 shell casings where 12 people were shot on Juneteenth itself. And
okay, you said that 3 times. I also notice he often does that. He keeps saying the same thing over and over. What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with the state of Black America? Juneteenth, some people got shot. Some people got shot the day after Juneteenth, too. Why aren't you talking about that? Why aren't you talking about the numbers of people? You know what happens a lot more than shootings? Overdoses. Yeah, overdoses. Overdoses occur a lot more often, and they happen to mostly white people, but you're not trying to help them? Why aren't you trying to help them? That's your daddy. Why aren't you trying to help your daddy and your mama? Your white mama and your white daddy. Why aren't you trying to do more about that? because that would be negative, and them white conservatives don't want to hear you shit on them. Because that's when the money dries up. Look, fam.
So when I look at the state of the black community, it has nothing to do with the political landscape.
The state of the black community. What's the state of the black community? You know what, folks? Here goes a little something. The only reason why there's a middle class in America is because federal government, because the president and the federal government decided they wanted to create one. Yeah, it was just a construct. Like poverty is a construct. It's a political policy initiative. It's a policy decision. It was a policy decision that we would have a middle class. Up until they decided to make safety nets, they provided people with opportunity or provided food stamps, unemployment, these things. That shit did not exist. A lot of what we have is because government created it. Here's the thing with Black America. Black America was intentionally excluded from that same build out to create those things. We were excluded from those opportunities. This is the reason why white people are where they are, generally speaking. It doesn't mean that there aren't individuals that get in their own way. It doesn't mean that individually there aren't some people that make better decisions than others. I'm not saying that at all, man. Everybody's got free will, but I'm talking overall. If you live in a perpetual dead zone where you can't get a signal, yeah, that's a good example. If you lived in a dead zone where there was no Wi-Fi, no 5G signal, and if you had a smartphone, how could you get to the internet? How can you get to the internet without 5G? And so that's sort of the parallel I'm making for a lot of black communities and what they have been basically put into a dead zone. And it doesn't matter who the mayor is or who the governor is, if they're not going to create the infrastructure that gives you the Wi-Fi connection, that gives you the access to the internet. And if you have other people that have the access to the internet and have had it for maybe, I don't know, forever, then again, it's going to be definitely disparities in how people are able to access opportunity. It doesn't mean a person should just go out here and commit crimes or should not attempt to be the best they can be and provide for their families. That's not the same thing. And that's the thing I can't stand about some of the conservatives like Anton. You know, there is a ground where you could say, hey, every individual should take advantage of all opportunities they can. They need to make smart decisions whenever possible. But let's not ignore the systemic barriers and challenges. Fam, if you redline people so they can't make money, and you cheapen the value of the homes when they are able to acquire property, if you lower the value of their property, that's money that's not going to be passed on to their kids. And I don't care where you grew up. This guy's talking like an individual is bigger than the system. Fam, if you go play on a team, if you ain't the coach, you on the roster, and the GM ain't giving up money, and the fans ain't showing up, it's just so much you can do with your shooting ability. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is there are black people creating something out of nothing every day. Most ingenuity having people in America are black people. We start the most businesses. And we do that with less money, with less resources. But Anton won't give us credit for that. Instead, he'll look at the 10% of black Americans who are sitting in the bottom of the barrel. Drug addiction, in and out of jail, whatever the situation may be, and focuses on that as if that is the entire pie. We got white people doing the same thing, and they don't have they don't have 300 years of struggle under their belt to I wouldn't say justify, but to argue that they contributed to it. But hey, you know, why would Stephen A. not want Anton to come on here and repeat stupid talking points?
It has everything to do with self-accountability, regardless of whether or not you're picking the right curriculum, if you want to go to college or you want to go to community college. Healthcare, I don't think that we're concerned about it. self-care, I don't think that we're concerned.
What is he talking about? He don't think that we're concerned with health care. I mean, hey, family, ladies and gentlemen, the majority of bankruptcies, white or black or Latino or Asian, are because of medical bills. Anton doesn't know anything, and he doesn't need to know anything because there are people that follow him that don't want him to know anything. They just want him to repeat whatever dumb, ill-informed, uninformed, misinformed information that they already believe. They wouldn't want him to educate them. That goes across the board, fam.
About it. And more importantly, I think that we're more concerned about self-care with regard to promoting ourselves and the culture that's.
What is he talking about? Family, listen, man. Look, man, I have no problem. Look, anybody out here who's an Anton fan, how long have you had this problem? But look, man, you feel free to like what you like. I'm just saying, fam, please do not delude yourself that this guy has some amazing theories, because he does not. Please do not delude yourself. I mean, like what you like. Consume what you want to consume. But let's not pretend that this guy is the sharpest knife in the drawer. He is not. He'll just say, without devoid of any emotion, the most asinine, boring, repetitive garbage that you can hear anybody say on TikTok with a whole lot less followers. That's all he does. He just said the same thing about 4 times, and none of it had any data, anything to substantiate it. It's just him talking. I have critiques of the system. I have critiques of the Democratic Party, but they're substantive. They're based on data. They're based on the fact that Black Americans are sitting at the bottom when it comes to home ownership. Now, if we can't correct that as a stat based on the fact we have a political party that we give our votes to 90% of the time, well, I don't know if we need to be giving our votes to them 90% of the time if we can't correct that. And how could we go down by 7 digits since the 90s? And how can Latinos come in and go up and pass us in home ownership? See, that's a stat that's a real stat that he could recite. But see, he wants to make Black people dropping in home ownership. He wants to make that a cause of, because of Black Americans not being focused on it, being focused on rap music. When everybody knows white people consume more rap music than Black folks. So it's not the music. Man, it's the policy. It's what you're handed down. It's legacy. Just like there's legacies of wealth, there's legacies of poverty. He won't admit that those things are real. I hope he's almost done. I don't want to keep interrupting him. It's getting late. And the people that believe in him, I ain't going to be able to convince them anyway.
That's the worst for us, versus taking accountability for the state that we have ourselves in. We don't have to have children out of wedlock. We don't have to put ourselves at a disadvantage, and we don't have to have children in poverty. And we have more technological advantages as far as research and understanding of the past than we've ever had before. But for some reason, we're still worse off when we continue to vote the same way while requesting nothing from politicians and letting women lead us to the polls. And that is the direct result. You're seeing it transpire inside of the Black community.
One of the things that I got to ask you about, Anton, is that, so many times we see things from an historical perspective. We see the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We see the Voting Rights Act of 1965. We see policy that has been implemented to address the unfairness and the inequity that exists within our system. I do understand when people look at it in this day and age and say, look, we're a lot better off than we were before. Let's stop acting like that. But there are, I think one of the things that concerns me about folks with the conservative tilt is that there's this notion, sometimes people act like it never existed. There was never a problem. These things never needed to be addressed. It's basically just about pulling yourself by your own bootstraps and going from there without really addressing the fact that the inequity that exists in our system, it's always been something that the Black community has had to battle against. And sometimes you hear conservatives talk and some of them sound like, yo, that's not true at all. What do you say to that?
I don't see any inequities. I was born in the blackest large city in the United States.
Next up.
Yeah, if I just end it like this, man. If you take one gander, put my mic on, yeah. If you take one look at the numbers and you look at the differentiations of this is go employment. Okay, let's go employment. Okay, so let's go venture capital, because he's got this. Typically, he wore this hat that says "bag chasers," and he's got a lot of black people, poor black people, that give him money because they think he has some inside knowledge on how to make money. Okay, fine. Okay, so venture capitalists. Of the venture capitalist funds that are distributed every year, black Americans get like maybe 2% of that money. 93% of it goes to white guys. White men, particularly. Don't you think it's possible that if we receive more venture capital money, there'd be more black people creating firms in the tech industries and the STEM industries? If we were having the same amount of investment that our white counterparts are having. His only retort would be something asinine like, well, black people they want to be social workers. They don't want to, and I say, well, what's the numbers on that? And he won't have any numbers. Because all black people be trying to do is not a number, it's not data, it's not something you can quantify. It's just something you can say that doesn't mean anything. What I'm telling you is there's a lot of lies that are being perpetuated that give people the impression that black people are just deciding not to be successful. But when I start putting out the data, when I start showcasing what has been not just occurring in the past, but what occurs to this day, a lot of the propaganda on TV will lead you to believe black people are killing it. We're not. The only thing I agree with Anton on is that when it comes to voting for the Democrats, and I agree with that. I agree that we do need to detach ourselves from the Democratic Party to put ourselves up and say, hey, let's negotiate. Let's work with who's going to work with us. What do you have to offer? And let's do some bartering and some exchange with other parties. And I believe we need more parties from a political standpoint. But this idea that it's just because black people don't want to work for it is ridiculous. Just like Anton, just like back in the day, black people never considered lazy until we stopped being slaves. Then all of a sudden we were the most laziest people. Up until that time, we were the best workers ever. And we weren't criminals until we became free. And so they wanted to put us back to work on the plantation. And the best way to do that was to use the prison system. And they did that by leasing us out as convicts. And overnight, almost overnight, the prison population went from 90% white guys to 90% black folks. Overnight. These are just facts that Anton can look up at any time if he really gave a damn. But I doubt he will, because I don't know. There's got to be a book out there somewhere written by a conservative like Soul that'll tell him black people suck and black people just don't want anything. And we ain't got time for it. Anyway, man, it's just amazing that Stephen A. Smith keeps on platforming the worst people. And that's not even counting him. All right, let's keep going, fam.
With Tim Black.
But my hot take of the moment is the most likely person to be the Democratic nominee is Kamala Harris. In every poll, it's usually her and Gavin Newsom neck and neck.
I have a list here.
She's usually ahead. If I may just finish.
I have a better list.
She is usually ahead.
I love her. She was great, but she didn't win one time. What makes you think she's going to win again?
I find it hard to believe that based on the money she raised, the name ID she has, and I don't think the party would pass over her for a generic white man.
I like John Ossoff. He's 39 years old. Yeah. I like Josh Shapiro, 53 years old.
I love Josh
Gavin
Shapiro.
Newsom, 58.
That's the problem.
And J.B. Pritzker, 61.
What about Pete Buttigieg? What about Pete Buttigieg? Wes Moore? There are some people that are just like...
Wes Moore is good.
Wes Moore is phenomenal.
What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
How about none of those people that you mentioned? Yeah, how about none of them? I mean, I know somebody's got to win. Jesus Christ. Kamala Harris, really? They got to script this out ahead of time. Like, they got to come up with these horrible ideas well in advance. I mean, because Kamala Harris, really? Ben Shapiro or Josh Shapiro? Same thing. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not excited about anybody on the Democratic side or the Republican side, to be honest with y'all. I'm not excited about any prospective candidates. Somebody, because you know what? Somebody new could pop up tomorrow that blows this whole thing up. And that person doesn't even have to be a politician. America is still on the tired of politicians mode. And as long as we're in that mode, fam, the door is wide open for anybody to rise up. I do mean anybody. A black man with a colorful shirt and a black hat could rise up and become president. Hell, not just a black man, a black American man. Yeah. It can happen. I mean, I'm just saying, fam, like, business as usual. I think America's tired of it. I'm just going to be 100, keep it 100 with you. America's tired of it. There's not a single person that was named that I thought was remotely interesting. I mean, people talk about Wes Moore, and he's my governor, fam. Other than some slick talking, I don't know what to expect from this guy. I mean, all I know is all my prices are higher. That's a bad start for me, fam. You know, and I'm a person that supported Ben Jealous when he ran for Maryland governor. But I didn't want all the prices to go up. Who wants that? So yeah, you know what? I'm not going to use that clip. My people are tired of The View. Aren't you tired of The View? You don't want to hear any more of The View. Let's keep going, y'all.
Next up with Tim Black.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, Dave, you are sorry.
No good.
You're so emblematic to the idea of the power of free speech. Tell me tonight, as we look at the 250th anniversary of this country, why you are proud to be an American, and how do you view our country today?
Boy, that's a loaded question. Now I see why Trump gets mad at y'all all the time. Why would you ask me that? All right. No, I got an answer for that. I don't agree with everything that our government does, but the one thing that I really consistently believe in that I love about being an American is my countrymen. If I'm overseas or around the world, anytime I see an American over there, we just give each other the Fight Club look, because we live in a madness that only we really understand what it's all about. And I have faith in my countrymen, no matter how crazy all of this will make it feel, that the sun will rise and that I feel like I'm part of a very incredible community. So God bless my countrymen, and let us make this country absolutely great.
Cheers to that.
And
cheers to that. Dave, yeah.
Cheers. Hey, get me a beer, would you? And Mr. Trump, please leave those Haitians in Springfield alone. We love them. We love the Haitians.
All right. Dave Chappelle,
I
cheers
brand
to you.
cups now.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you so much.
All right, so Dave Chappelle. Yeah, man, let's switch mics. Can we switch mics? Are we good? All right. Yeah. Okay, we got the other mic. I'm tired of this. Okay, this is the last story of the day. One thing I like about Dave Chappelle, y'all, is that Dave can talk and you feel like the guy's being sincere. You know, like maybe he means what he says, and that's dope. You know, and he's a great storyteller. And I guess I get the benefit of him going first. But let me take a stab at this. Tim Black style. Okay. If I had to pick something, and I had to kind of describe how I feel about America, And what is it about America that I love, or is there anything that I could say I love about America? And I would say, man, I love how people that have had their backs against the wall, no matter how bad things get, no matter how far down they are, no matter if it's a natural disaster or just a family disaster, that we have a way of coming together at times of need, that we can put ourselves in each other's shoes for a while. And people that you don't know, people that you may never meet, you can feel connected to them in a certain kind of way. You understand what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, particularly in the Black community, we have a way of rallying around one another when the time is calling for it. And we do this without having meetings. Yeah, we don't have to have a meeting or nothing. We don't have to have a newsletter. We don't need anything. What we need to do, if the word gets out, whether it's social media, whether it's independent media, we just have a way of galvanizing around it. And it's an amazing thing that we could do that the way we do. So if I could say there's one thing about America that I'm really proud of, I'm proud of Black people staying alive. Black people being able to network and laugh and smile through all the adversity to build the most resilient culture this world has ever seen. And to keep it alive all this time. And no matter how many sellouts and backstabbers or obstacles and bad laws and bad policies and shuck and jiving politicians and liars and bad media, no matter what's thrown at us, we still find some way to have hope, to stay connected to one another. And it ain't perfect. Nah, it ain't perfect, fam. But we're still here. We're still here. Somehow. Somehow we're still here. And when I look at the globe of Black people across the globe, and I've done this, I've done the math, I've done the studies. Black Americans are the most prosperous group of Black people on the planet. And I'm proud of that. I'm not saying we don't have more work to do. I'm not saying we can't have more goals, but I'm saying, yeah. I love that. I'm proud of that. I'll take it. My name is Tim Black. You're watching the Tim Black Show. Thank you for being here. We'll be back. I got to do a special show Sunday. We had a rain outage here at the Tim Black Studios. It's TTL Media Studios. That's what it's called. So we got to do a makeup. I'm supposed to have my brother, Dr. Musa Abdullah, on the show. So now we're going to do something on Sunday, it seems. Hopefully we'll do it on Sunday. That's the earmark. So I don't know. We ain't even pick a time yet, but I know Sunday we're supposed to get back together and do it. Yeah, man. I want to thank my folks. Tim Black's Wolfpack in the building, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me tonight. I know it was late. I'm glad people even bothered to, hit me up on their smartphones or their desktops or on their mobiles, and just check out the show. Appreciate it. Do me a favor, if you can't become a member, share it with somebody. Tell somebody about the Tim Black Show. Word of mouth is the best sales possible. The best marketing is you telling other people about the show. You may disagree with me, but know this. We just disagree. It ain't because I'm getting paid to lie to you. It's not because I want to make you feel a certain kind of way and believe a certain type of thing and somebody's going to hook me up. None of that. It's just we disagree. And that's okay, man. That's okay. We can disagree sometimes. As long as your heart and my heart, as long as our heart's in the right place. Shout out to my moderators. Thank you, Nene. Thank you. Raina Tears. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, all of you that came in, man. Appreciate you. I don't even know where we are here. But yeah. Yeah. Thank you. All right, guys, that's it. Stay courageous, stay bold, but most of all, stay dangerous. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Stay cool. It's been hot here in the D.C. area, fam. Look, don't let nobody take your cornbread. Yeah, that's our old saying. We've been saying it. Here was another one. How's it go? Sprinkle some facts on them. That's it. Sprinkle some facts on them and get out of there. Don't be arguing with people this weekend. Just because you disagree about Kamala, you disagree about Biden or Trump or whatever you disagree about politics. Look, man, you can't convince anybody of anything. You never change someone's opinion. People got to change their own opinions. You give them the information, sprinkle some facts on them and get out of there. Let them make their own minds up. In fact, fam, if you try to argue with somebody about politics, they'll disagree with you just to prove themselves right. Last thing you want to do is to try to argue about someone's beliefs. Nah, man, that's not how it works. In fact, I learned a long time ago, right? Sometimes it's your job to drop a seed, and sometimes it's your job to water someone else's seed that was already dropped. So you never know what state of the process, where you're at when you meet somebody. Maybe they just need a little bit of water. And that thing is going to shoot through, that seed's going to pop through the ground. Or maybe it's already took root and it's ready. And if you happen to experience that, it may be gratifying. You may be like, yeah, I did something. I changed their mind. But the reality is somebody else planted that seed a long time ago. You just happen to be there when it bloomed. So if you make it about that, you're missing the boat, man. Don't make it about gratification. That's what that is. You want to be gratified. I had to learn that that's not what it's about. It's about giving them the information and letting grown-ass people make up their own minds. It's not about taking a bow. It's not about winning an argument. It's about sharing information. And if you win, that's good too. If that's what you... Whatever, man. I don't know. That's how I see it, man. And it's served me well. But that's it, y'all. Everybody's got reasons for doing what they do. My reasons are real simple, fam. I do what I do because I got a family that I love. Thank you, Gail Margaret Lloyd, for supporting this show. I hope to live up to the high regard that you have for me. Peace. Where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go.
Now, there you go. I gotta wait till it's my
Thank you, WD.